I was gonna walk, but I have all this set up, but I don't have time to move this over. So I bet you are probably wondering, Scotty, you already did these. Yes, I did about 2 years ago. I've done. Uh, so I did this review about a couple years ago now. Um, Back during the pick, or no, Tubi Horror Weekend 3 to show you how long ago it was. Three or four. I think it was three actually. I did two more after that, but this and Ghost Ship and 13 Ghosts, I think were all in the same bundle. I think they were on the same thing. I think. But I'm going to do them again because I decided to go through the entire catalog of Dark Castle Entertainment. I almost said Dark Entertainment Castle. It doesn't make sense. Dark Castle Entertainment. So, welcome to the beginning of this review series. This is going to span 24 movies. Yeah, this is going to be a long project, but I'm going to try to do it. You know. So, we start with House on Haunted Hill from 1999. Now, the conception of Dark Castle Entertainment was to do remakes of William Castle projects, of which they've only done two. This and 13 Ghosts. And then they decided, screw it, we're going to do original content. Now, the ones that I've already reviewed are 4 of the first 5, which would be House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship, and House of Wax. House of Wax, I did my first year of YouTube, so that's probably overdue for a revisit review, as well as the first Orphan, and I did Orphan First Kill, which I kind of want a second look at that anyway, because that was fresh off of watching it on Paramount Plus. So, I always say when I watch a movie, like when I first watched, like back when I used to go to movie theaters, that first viewing always felt to me like it was never enough, especially since a lot of the ones that I do now are ones I went to the theater to see, and they're kind of like second, third viewings for me. So, that sort of thing. So, Orphan First Kill was something I saw right off streaming, and I kind of want another look at it. I will be looking at that. That's gonna be a little more recent. By the time I get to it, it's still gonna be this year, I guess. But it's a little more recent. But I can go full spoilers on it, and not have to go, bit for bit, really. Which I could do with this too. But I kind of want to talk through the plot a little bit because the plot is interesting. I don't remember. Now, keep in mind when I do revisit reviews, I generally don't rewatch my old ones because I don't want to be repeating myself. That being said, because I don't watch them, I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Then you can say, well, if you watch it, you would know that. But in watching it, I could also get an idea of what to say. So just going straight off of it. And so my rating might be different. It may have gone up, may have gone down. So it happens with a visit review. So a lot of the revisited reviews I do are ones that I had a different rating system for. So especially House Wax is going to be that. But so in 1999, they gave us House on Haunted Hill, which has a pretty star-studded cast: Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, Bridget Nelson, not Brigitte Nielsen, Mr. Gigi. Bridget Nelson, he confused her. Ali Larder, again, Ali Larder, although he did correct himself in that video. Taye Diggs, I guess I should be pointing out where they're from. So, that was his name. Jeffrey Rush, Pirates of the Caribbean is Barbossa, or, what was it? The body once told me. Mystery Men. As Casanova Frankenstein and Mystery Men. Famke Janssen from X-Men or GoldenEye. Taye Diggs from the movie Go. Or the very underrated TV show Daybreak, which I've already done a review for on this channel. It's a short-lived review because it was only one season, but should have lasted longer. I don't know how they've done it, but check that out. Bridget Nelson, who you may know from Over on the Cavan, so hot, want to touch the hiney, ow, Billy Madison, and of course, Mortal Kombat, and Ali Larder from Final Destination, or Varsity Blues, or Heroes, or anything else you can find her popping up in. She's been in quite a bit. And then we have Chris Kattan, who is honestly the more... I'd watch a million movies with him in it over any Will Ferrell, although his acting is not too great in this. But he was on Saturday Night Live. He was Mongo, and he was the other Buttati, the Buttati brothers. Is that what they were called? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Broke the window again. That guy. Buttati. Buttati? Buttati. I don't know. He was one of those guys. And I know Mongo, and there's like a monkey character he did too, right? And he's been in other things, Corky Romano, which I admit I haven't seen, and Monkey Bone as the corpse runner guy. And then you also have Blackburn. What's his name? He's the dad from the OC, and he was also in Mr. Deeds. Yeah, that guy. But anyway, so the story here is that many, many moons ago, there was this asylum where basically the inmates broke out of where they were at and killed the staff, including one Dr. Vannicut, who was not an innocent person either. He was a German doctor. He's played by Jeffrey Combs, who is very underutilized in this one, but I hear he's in the next one, but I don't exactly know if he's... Yes, there's a sequel to this. Return to House on Haunted Hill, which is not a sentence. You need to put a the between two and return, and two and haunted. Excuse me. Not return to the House on Haunted Hill, not return to House on Haunted Hill. But because there was no the and there was no title, they just... Anyway, so the inmates rose up in the asylum, killing everybody but 5 of Vannicutt's staff. They killed Vannicut himself, and Vannicut is also one of the ghosts, which is very confusing. Did you see him later? He kills one of the people, supposedly. Or it looks like he kills someone. I don't know. But we flash forward now to all these years later, to 1999 or 98, whatever one it is. And we meet Mr. Stephen Price, played by Jeffrey Rush, who is, without a doubt, fantastic in this movie. He is obviously paying homage to Vincent Price from the original movie, and he is great in this. Price is somewhat of a person who likes to get scares out of people. And so he has this roller coaster that starts at the top for some reason. But you might think it's redundant to go up an elevator just to, go on a ride. But the elevator itself is also part of the ride, taking inspiration from the Tower of Terror. You know what I mean? The Hollywood Tower Hotel, that the Disney ride. So, taking inspiration from that, it shakes, and you think something's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, ding, you're at the top, you're ready to go. And you start at the top and work your way around. There's also one that looks like a cart, dove to its death, but not really. Also, I want to point out that the cameraman in this scene with the news lady is James Marsters Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he just has one line, 1 or 2 lines, and then that's it. He's not in the rest of the movie. It's a blink and you'll miss it. Not a blink you miss it, kind of, but it's a unnecessary, underutilized cameo. We'll see another Buffy alumnus later as well. Anyway, Price and his wife Evelyn, played by Famke Janssen, hate each other for some reason. It's never really explained why. They just do hate each other, and they want each other dead. Evelyn sees a story on the news, narrated by Peter Graves, because of course, about the haunted asylum, and decides to set up a birthday party there and gives Price a guest list. Price throws away the guest list and writes his own, but doesn't send it or print out or anything, and then all of a sudden, the things are typing on their own, and Um, it's so the whole thing with the original House on Haunted Hill. I never seen it, but I know what the whole thing is. Is that it's left to the imagination whether or not it's real or not. And I think in that one, I think it's meant that it's not, or was that the haunting? Whatever. Either one, either way, and, it's truly left up to the imagination. I feel like they could have set this up. I was watching this time, and I was watching other people's reviews of it. I thought of something like so. Bridget Wilson disappears at one point. Problem is, we see something come at her. We see imply something come at her, and then they find footage, something like that, and then they find like a bunch of blood that's led to be hers by her little camera thingy that she's carrying around. And a part of me makes me think that wouldn't it be better if they just found the remains? Later they find her body somewhere, but like they found the blood and some remains and the busted up camera, right? Or not even a busted up camera, it's just gone. And they think, oh, there's some ghosts or something here. Even I just think, ghosts. Okay, because we saw that opening. Only for it to be revealed later that it was Evelyn and her partner, I won't get into, that did it. Although I could spoil it because I've talked about this before. But anyway, it could be interesting. Because we can find out that Evelyn and her partner are trying to frame Price for murder. Which raises the question, who was on the guest list? Because, okay, so she makes a guest list, right? Price ignores it and makes his own. So our people show up, including Pritchard, who is the only one who is really supposed to be there because he's the caretaker of the building. His grandfather was the one who built it, and his father died while working on it. I think his father or his grandfather, one of them died. But his grandfather built it, and his father died while working on it, I think. I think that's how it went. One of the two. Either way. And so he's very much, to kind of go over the 13 Ghosts, there is sort of a pattern here. With there being one person who keeps telling people not to stay here, that there's ghosts, there's something going on, blah, blah, blah. There's that kind of pattern or formula. And it's interesting that Steve Beck directed 13 Ghosts and Ghost Ship. And there's editing choices in there that are similar. But the template is different. Here, this feels like they took this, and when they did 13 Ghosts, they said, oh, this was good, let's use the same template and just apply it to a different story. Is what it seems like. Somewhat. It's a group of people coming to a house where things are happening. They added different plot elements to 13 Ghosts, but, So they get there and immediately decide to look around. Well, not really. They get there and the place closes down, which again was repeated in 13 Ghosts. But the thing is, okay, so Pritchard starts yelling about he wants his money, and this is where I realized that Chris Kattan's probably not the best actor. Just give me my goddamn check! Tell him. But, yeah, probably not the best. But anyway, I was like, okay, but I can't offer you $1 million. Everybody else gets $1 million for staying there. It's like, no, I'm out of here. And proceeds to walk. Then they hear a noise, and Pritchard stops before realizing that it's the safety system closing. Then takes too long to run towards the door. Just as he gets to it, it shuts. But had he kept walking instead of stopping, or when he stopped for a second, realizing, oh, it's a security system, which he should know about because his goddamn grandfather built the place, as mentioned before. He should know what that sound is and what it was doing. It baffles me because he says a few times in this movie that his grandfather built the place. So, why didn't he know what the sound was? If his grandfather built it, he should know the place back and forth. Front and back. Yeah, front and back, up and down, top to bottom. He should know it. And that sound, he should know what it was and run out. But he doesn't because we need him to stay there. And even, it's him who suggests, well, there's a way to override it. You gotta go in the basement. But later there's something in the attic that, I don't know. So they go in the basement, and it really doesn't make any sense other than to get our people to separate. So I should mention our people that I can remember. We have Eddie, who's Taye Diggs, Blackburn, who is the dad from OC, uh, Jennifer Jensen, as we are told, played by Ali Larter. Uh, I don't remember Bridget Nelson's name. And then we have Pritchett, Evelyn, and Price. And so they go down to the basement, kind of separate. Evelyn has had enough, and she goes to like a boba or something. Pritchard decides to get drunk, or does he go down with him? He does go down with him. But Jennifer and Eddie are talking, and Eddie realizes that Jennifer is not telling the truth. Her real name is Sarah. She's Jennifer's assistant because Jennifer refused to show up. So Sarah decided to go with and get the money. And so she's not even connected to any of this. Well, they don't know what the connection is, but she's not the one who was invited, which is what's important. But confusingly, while she's telling this, when she comes back, Eddie's just gone. And I think we're supposed to believe that they somehow got separated. But like she sees a ghost-like version of Eddie and follows him till he jumps into a vat of blood, which... How is the vat of blood there? Who put it there? It wasn't Price. It wasn't... No? No. I don't know. Meanwhile, during this, Price goes to visit his security guy, who is... from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was the demon guy that actually put Angel on his good path. I forget his name. It wasn't Eddie. It was something else. Whatever. He was there. But, yeah, and he admits that he didn't close everything up, and so Price immediately accuses Evelyn. By the way, so this is the part where Bridget Wilson goes disappearing. Goes missing, goes disappearing. Disappears, goes missing. And Price doesn't think to check the cameras to make sure, to see where she went. No? Okay. He doesn't. No. I don't think he actually cares, but Pritchard is getting drunk anyway with this vodka. I think is in a lot of these movies the connecting factor. Now, yes. So they all reconvene the little bar lobby way. Try to figure out what happened to Bridget Wilson and what's going on, and eventually Evelyn says she's going to take a bubble bath, which she already did at the beginning of the movie, but she's going to take another bath and relax. And then, strangely, they find her electrocuted. Yeah, by the way, if you have epilepsy, don't watch this. There's a lot of flashing lights and stuff, especially in the scene later. Don't watch it. They also have guns, I forgot to mention. Guns that are supposedly filled with blanks, but Evelyn's does not have blanks. It has real bullets, and you try to think. They don't explain it, but my only conclusion is that she switched them. That she had a real gun and swapped it. The real gun looked just like the ones. She is the one who suggests to get the weapons out, so yeah. But Evelyn is dead, right? And they seem to think that Price did it, so they throw him in this chamber. And strangely enough, it is Eddie who suggests that someone needs to stay behind, and it is Blackburn who says that he'll stay behind. But from what we learn about Blackburn in just a few minutes, wouldn't it make more sense if he suggests that they need someone to stay behind and then volunteer to do it? Hold on, I'll stay here. What? Why? We need someone to stay behind and make sure he doesn't get out, which he wouldn't get out. It's locked when he's outside. I don't know. But no, he stays behind and turns on the chamber, causing a bunch of flashing lights and hallucinations and all that stuff, and then leaves. And then we find out he's in league with Evelyn, and he brings her back to life with a needle to her leg. So what actually happened? Like, Well, shouldn't it be an adrenaline shot to her heart? You know, adrenaline in my soul. I brought back to life this hoe. You know, just bringing her back. I don't know, but they're together. But then they. This is where I thought of the idea. So she's like, we need to make sure that Steven is blamed for this stuff. And Blackburn says, we don't know if Bridget Wilson's alive or dead. Well, we need another body. So she kills Blackburn. And that made me think, if this was her plan to set up, then, you know, a couple more drafts. Maybe not write that she did it and they find a body. Because they don't find Bridget Wilson's body till when it's almost time for the climax. So then Evelyn kills her, kills Blackburn, decapitates him, frees Price. Price is now gone nuts because of the saturation chamber. Remember what it was called. So we have, who's left? Eddie, Pritchard, and Sarah. By the way, she hears Bridget Wilson, and then her first response is, hello? It's me, Sarah. She doesn't know you as Sarah. So why would you say Sarah? The only person who knows your real name is Eddie. Also, at one point, I forgot to mention that Price does find his security guy dead because we need him. His face completely on with pretty good gore, and then we see Jeffrey Combs in some weird moving shot. It's almost like Go Motion. Remember that, like the Ed 209 from RoboCop? That was Go Motion, kind of like that. It's almost like that. It's not what it is. It's a weird way that they added it to do it, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, Price is then shot, supposedly to death again, and Evelyn finds him, but he's not dead. He's got a bulletproof vest. And that's when she smashes into this room that they bring out earlier that releases a whole horde of ghosts, which I don't understand because there were already ghosts doing shit. We saw Vannacut. So I don't know. But the horde goes out, kills Pritchard, just sucks him in, he's dead. And then Evelyn is also killed. Evelyn's the first to be killed, actually, and then kills Pritchard. And so Price has lost it to this point. Eddie and Sarah make it up to the attic where there's a pulley system to pull open the shade thing. Strangely, it is Price who sacrifices himself for Sarah, and Sarah gets out, but the door thing closes on Eddie. This is where it's revealed that Eddie is adopted. And it is then the ghost of Pritchard who raises it up. And again, drawing comparison to 13 Ghosts, it is the ghost of Matthew Lillard's character, Dennis, that saves them there, that convinces Arthur to jump through the trap. We're going to get all into that stuff when we go there. But, yeah. Goes to Pritchard. And then the thing closes and they die or it explodes or they're safe outside, I guess, because even the ghosts can't go through the thing. I don't know, but they have all the checks, the $1 million checks, which first time I watched this, I thought, how are they able to cash those? And then realizing it says cash, it was written out to cash. So, but the problem is, even if they rush to the bank to cash those millions of dollars checks, right? It's made out of cash, so anyone can cash them. And that's like $5 million. Not including Pritchard's, because his wasn't $1 million. So you have, maybe it's $4 million, right? That would make sense. Sarah, Jennifer, Eddie, Bridget Wilson, Blackburn. Does Evelyn count? Probably not. And Blackburn, that's 4. Because Pritchard wasn't for $1 million. So it's $4 million. They each get $2 million apiece. Yeah. Yeah. And then the final line is, So how do we get down? Yeah, because it's a big. The building, the design of this. I'm talking about earlier. The design of this huge, tall, freaking building. Like you can, like the Shout Factory Blu-ray shows you has the building, and it's. That's another comparison to. Everything goes is that it's a strangely built building. You know, the other one is completely made of glass, which you don't want to have a completely made of glass building, and then this one is very tall kind of building. But yeah, like I said, they did make a sequel, which I will talk about when I get to it, because it's also a Dark Castle entertainment film. But I actually found myself enjoying this time, pretty much. I remember what I did last time, but I'm gonna give it a low pretty good. Because I enjoyed it for what it was. I always liked this one. See, I'm one of those who grew up as a teenager, young adult in the 2000s. So 2000s horror was my forte. My forte. Not fuerte. My forte, right? House of Wax, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, Wrong Turn, the first two at least. You know, those kind of movies, 2000s horror was my thing. Yes, there's some bad ones, but I don't think this is one of them. Yes, this is 1999, but this was late 90s horror influenced 2000s horror very much. The only thing that really bothered me is there's a chase scene towards the end of the movie where it feels like they took the chung sound they use for jump scares, like chung, chung, and turned it into a score. It's like chung, 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 chung. I'm like, is that it? What is that? Constant jump scares? No, it's a chase scene. What? Whose idea was to use that as a score? I don't know. But I enjoyed it for what it was. You know. Only thing I gotta... Why kill off Bridget Wilson so quickly? Like, she's barely in the movie. You know, she has more screen time than Spike, but still. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on House on Haunted Hill from 1999? No comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.